As the media storm circles around Newcastle's transfer activity, we're going to be asking the question, can and must Newcastle keep calm and carry on? Can we do it? Let's find out right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Brilliant from Sham, and now Murphy could take on the shot. Fabian Sham wins!
All right, folks. How are you all doing? I hope you're all blessed. Got a lot of feedback in my headphones here, but regardless, we're going to keep it going. Always a blessing to see you guys. Always a blessing to see you all. As always, you could have been anywhere, doing anything in the world, but you're right here with me on Toon Tactics TV, folks. And I'm blessed to have you, and always blessed to have your engagement with Toon Tactics TV. But let me know, guys. Already we've got the chat going off. It's ringing off already. And it's always a blessing to see all of you guys. I'm super excited to see you guys already here for the show. I've got tons of stuff to talk about. As always, I've had stuff prepared, but Newcastle, I've added even more stuff towards it. And we've got plenty to discuss, plenty to digest. I am going to be talking, kicking off things off with the Isak transfer situation, and kind of intertwine that with my overall thoughts in terms of continuing with the media, how it's covering, and what it kind of tells us in terms of what could be reading between the lines, what could be happening, and what are the possibilities of various things that could be happening, and how we can interpret it. And then we're going to do a review of obviously the failed transfer of Mr. Benjamin Sesko, who's gone to Manchester United. I'm going to review that, essentially kind of figure out, look at what could have went wrong, why didn't we get it over the line. And then we're going to look at the alternatives, that have been brought to us in terms of Jackson and others, but now are possibly going elsewhere with interest from Bayern and interest from other clubs. And essentially, where does that leave us? Where does it leave Isak? Again, intertwining back to Isak, where does it all go? So again, before we get into that, we're gonna go through that little roadmap on tonight's show. So make sure, as always, guys, I need your views and opinions. I need your engagement. I need your thoughts and feelings about all that's going on, and because that's what adds the content, the context to the show. That's what adds to the nuance. That's what gives your views, your opinions, your perspective is what gives the quality to the show itself. So make sure you do lock in. I do want to have, before we get into it, I just wanted to have a couple of announcements. One is, let me get a drink of water, already thirsty. As always, we're growing really well, doing really well. So that has been a blessing. And I'm getting always tons of people in the chat, and I don't want to lose that. So I want to be able to, by next Tuesday, I'm gonna set up the show so that, I can't remember how to do it on YouTube, but essentially so that folks that are subscribed to the show can leave comments. So because I don't want to, I feel very conscious that a lot of folks leave comments, and by the time I read slides or like get through stuff, I feel like I miss out on a lot of good quality comments from people, and I don't want to lose that. So to help me to kind of deal with the flow of engagement, which I love, which I enjoy, the more the merrier. But I want to be able. I feel conscious that sometimes I scroll down quite a bit, and I don't get I don't get as many quality views, like people's views at the time. And you guys are amazing. You take the time to think about what the content that's here. You take the time to critically look at it, to write down and get your thoughts. So I want to be in a position where it's just going to help me to be able to filter the comments a little bit and make sure I get as many of your views and opinions. So by next week Tuesday, by the next show on Tuesday, I'm going to be I'm going to set up that link where those that are subscribed to the show can leave a comment as well. So essentially, if you haven't subscribed, folks, or you just or if you haven't subscribed, it's an encouragement to you to subscribe, and always obviously like, share as well. And the second thing, also, I am looking for mods. I'm looking for mods for the show as well. That's essentially moderators as well. I'm going to come up with a couple like housekeeping stuff. So essentially, that's like basic stuff. Just being respectful to one another, because I want to keep the quality. I want to keep the quality of the show that brought you guys here in the first place. I don't want to lose that. So both of those things. So if you are interested in becoming a mod for the show, do DM me on X. Just send me a message or whatnot. Let me know if you're interested, and if I get people that want to volunteer, that'll be amazing. I'll probably if I get blessed with people that want to volunteer, I'll probably go for folks that I know have been watching the show for a while, just because you know me. You kind of know the flow of the show and how we keep it, type of thing. So because that's going to be important. So yeah, if you want to be a moderator, if you want to be a mod, do let me know. Do DM me, and we'll have a chat about it and see what happens. And the last thing is like, share, and subscribe. Last show again, I think we hit like 4,000 views. We had, I think we're getting to the point of 900 subs, which is phenomenal. We broke 100. We got 125 likes in the previous show, which is phenomenal. And again, our likes to viewer ratio is absolutely phenomenal, and it's all down to you guys, all down to your engagement. And so, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. Thank you so much for that. And so, yeah, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will continue to grow Toon Tactics TV family together. All right, so let's get to the comments, then we'll get to the show. Well, we are on the show, but let's see. I haven't said hello to people. I've said a lot, but I haven't said hello to people. So let me make sure I do that. We've got BT in the house. God bless you, BT. Good to see you. Good evening. And to those in the chat, good to see you, BT. Good to see you. Geordie Toon for life. Always an incredible blessing to see you. God bless you, sir. Good evening, Philip. Keep your chin up. I got it up. We are not a bad team. We're not, because we possibly will lose Isak. Fans need to relax. It's just one player. So Geordie Toon for life is keeping a very what's the word? It's not mature. It's mature, but there's a bigger word. Like you see the bigger picture. Geordie Toon for life is seeing the bigger picture. That's what I was looking for. BT Isak, not just any player. How can he be replaced like for like for the number one position? So he is a special player, I can kind of see both sides, but from what Jordy and BT are saying, BT says, because we cannot match the wages of a bigger club does not mean that we at this present settle for the second best. Yeah, we're trying. I think, I do agree. We're going to talk about that as well. I do think that we should continue to aim for the best. That is important for us. Players that take us forward. BT again says we cannot afford not to qualify for the Champions League this coming season. Yes, that's true. So if Isak goes, what does that mean for the likes of Bruno, Tonali, to name just the two, if we do not? Yeah, I think Champions League qualification, again, is absolutely vital for us. To be able to do it two years in a row will be absolutely phenomenal. Nat is here. Good to see you, Nat. God bless you. Good to see you. Good evening, Philip, and everyone. Good evening to you, Nat. Always a blessing to see you. What if we reach Eddie Howe breaking point and he leaves? That's my worry. I can understand. Oh, I'm reading the wrong. No, I understand that. I don't think he will. I think he I think he's so responsible for so many things, and He'll know that. He'll know that he's so needed. And unlike some of our past sporting directors, he's not going to leave us in our hour of need. That's not Eddie Howe's character, in my opinion. Nat says this Isak saga has literally taken over the whole window. Yeah, it has. It has, absolutely. It has not helped us at all. Cy Robson, good to see you. God bless you, Cy Robson. Incredible show on Tuesday, and you was just phenomenal, to be honest, Cy. So, again, thank you for all that you're doing in your engagement with the show, Cy. Nat says we've spent the whole window so far chasing to get two strikers, and we might have none. We might have none. it's not for want of not trying. I think it is external factors. It is bigger clubs essentially getting them. So, but I understand what you're saying. Nat says I definitely have subscribed and have my bell on so your videos come up. That's right, Nat. Well done, Nat. Appreciate that. So that's just an encouragement for everybody else to have your notifications bells on and to subscribe to the show as well. To subscribe to the show. Free my boy Isak, says Bob Mark. I take you like the thumbnail. Mark, God bless you. Great to have you. Terence Tibbs says, just chat and make sure it's good or we turn off. Just keep the quality going. We'll do our best. But Terence, it's you guys that keep it. Honestly, I feel like it's you guys that add the quality each and every time. Big up everything you're doing so far. Thank you so much, Nat. I appreciate your encouragement. It means a lot coming from you as well. Terence Tibbs says, stop crying about the house rules. It's not crying, I don't think, Terence. I think it's a standard thing that most channels have. We're building an incredible channel, and I don't want to lose it. I was just quite conscious of it that I want folks to continue to enjoy coming here and to people from what I get in the chat. There's a lot of peace. There's banter. There's just the people seem to just enjoy just being here. So I want to make sure that we remain that. And in terms of that, actually, I just add is that look, I have this. It's going to be. I'm growing. I'm learning as well. I might end up messing a few things up, along the lines. People might say, "Raw, what's that rule? Like, why this or what that?" And when I say rule, it's just like respect, just what everyone naturally has anyway. But whatever it is, I will do things that will mess things up a little bit, even and I will learn from it, But just know that my main vision or my main goal is always to essentially have a quality show that people will enjoy. Like, it's late in the evening here in the UK. In other parts of the world, we get people from South Africa, Ghana now listening. They might be at work, they might be doing something. I just want people to have a quality show. So I don't want to lose that. That's my main thing. That's my main thing behind it, Terence. And just to say, Terence, just to add to that is, we've been going on for like a year and a bit now. So like, it's not something that I thought on straight away. It's, I'm not like that kind of dude or whatnot, but it's growing. And so I feel the responsibility to ensure that we continue to pump a quality show for folks. Okay, so I'll give it one more minute into the chat so I can get onto the quality stuff. Wobojog, always. Speaking of quality, good to see you, Wobojog. Hey, Phil, how you have patience for the entitlement in 99% of Wobojog. You're always on target. Hey Phil, so Wobojog says, hey Phil, how you have patience for the entitlement of 99% of arguments put forward by Scousers, Free Isak Brigade is beyond me, man. Thank you. That's an incredible compliment. Thank you, Wobojog. Bob Mark says, don't miss with the mods. Big up. Terence Tibbs, this clown's doing interviews. Who's doing the interviews? Nat, share, like, share, and subscribe, folks. Yes, folks, do be do like, share, and subscribe, folks. Bob Mark says, as a Liverpool fan, I can say Newcastle dodged a bullet with Sesko. He is not good. So you don't rate him, Bob. Let me know your thoughts. Just one of the things. What do you think he's? Do you think he's reached the ceiling, Bob Mark? Do you think he's not going to get better? Nat says, on the positive note, I just have a feeling Gordon will have a great season. He seems on it. He is. Somebody mentioned that the other day. Actually, somebody mentioned that the other day. They have a good. There was a football guy that said that they have a really good feeling about Anthony Gordon. I haven't got it in my mind, but Nat, you're not the only. You might be hitting the nail on the head there. Sam, good to see you. God bless you, sir. Always a privilege to have rival fans come on the show as well. Again, you guys add the context. You guys continue to add the quality, and your quality people as well. Good, and Toon Tactics, give a salute there. Bob Marks there, having the laugh. Repeat 180. God bless you. I don't know if you've been here before, but if it's your first time, welcome to the show. But God bless you, Man U and Liverpool fans can't even stick to their own tubers, to their own YouTubers. Oh my goodness gracious! I wouldn't want that repeating. Like I don't. I think it's great. I don't. I really salute folks that if you're not a Newcastle fan and you come on here, that is for me personally, and I think a lot for the people in the chat. I know you're bantering, repeat, but I'm just thinking like. It is a real privilege to have folks from opposing fans coming here. It is a privilege. It helps me not to be in an echo chamber, mainly my own mind. Why a player is not good? Fans never explain why a player is not good. I'm sure we will get into it. Free is a break, prison break tactic. You guys are proving Warbledog's point here. Bob Mark, I mean, he will get okay. He will get better, but better is not Premier League level. Okay, fair play, Bob. Thanks for explaining that. I'd rather put my eyes out than listen to a Mank or a Scouse YouTuber. Must be, oh goodness gracious, repeat. You've had it. You've had a day today. Nat says he did an interview and was incredibly honest, but you can tell his head turned, but it's turned back now, and his focus is. Guys, I've lost something. Who's had an interview? Okay, I've just been away from online 1 minute. Please, can you tell me who's had an interview? If it's on YouTube, and we might, if we can, hopefully we'll avoid a strike. Sheesh, I've got some more content to add. Who's had an interview, guys? Come on, like, let me know in the chat. Geordie Toon for life. Craig Hope said that same about goal. That's it. Craig Hope said that. Thank you, Geordie Toon. Nat was talking about she thinks that Gordon's going to have a great season. It was Craig Hope. It was the same video. Thank you for reminding me, Geordie, too. It was. He had that same feeling. Cy Robson. The thing that gets me about the mainstream media is that last season they tried to sell Isak to Arsenal, and this season it's Liverpool. Where's Ofcom in the vice journalism? Yeah, I don't know if... I don't know if Ofcom works for biased journalism nowadays. But Mark's AP, I'm already having the laugh. Yeah, we're having a little banter. Tinze Kulu Isak is gone PLA. Is he? Let me know. But welcome to the channel, by the way, Tinze. God bless you. Welcome to the show. Tyno Abel. Always a huge privilege to have someone of your renown on this show, sir. Tough times for us. Great content, Philip. Keep it up. Means a lot coming from the likes of you, Tino. I really appreciate you for that. Okay, so Gordon had the interview. Yeah. Gordon had the interview. Right. Gordon had the interview there. Okay, so Nat says he said about England, I think it's Gordon, affected him. The noise from Liverpool. Oh, yes, I saw that. And his head turning and he fell out of love with football for a bit. Well, I think him and Isak should have a... have a therapy set, some Goodwill Hunting therapy session, I think. You know what I mean? Yes, thank you, Geordie Toon. All right, so let me get my drink. Because this comment is a lovely segue in what we're talking about today. Sam says, "Welcome to the big boy league. The media will talk about you." And with all of that, Sam's right. That's why I've been quite. We're going to be, when I'm talking about the media today, trying to read between the lines. When I'm asking things like when I'm talking about when people leak information, when they tell information, whether it's Fab, Ornstein, small account, big account, I'm always going to be asking the question of who do we think? 3 questions: who do I think leaked that information? Who does information benefit the most, which sort of answers the first question, and the timing of those things. It's not that I'm trying to be conspiratorial. Like people just say you're being tinfoil hat, conspiracy theory to kind of wave off, because I just begin to think that they don't want to do critical thinking, right? And it's not to say this club is bad, that club is good because they don't do this or they don't do that. I think things just work in terms of mutual interest. And sometimes for the folks that are in the position where they can release information like that, the transfer journals, sometimes the payment is money, relationships with bigger clubs. Sometimes they'll forego certain, I think, money in order to maintain relationship with bigger clubs and stuff like that. But it's always about mutual interest. I think the main thing I want to be able to understand, even whether whoever the information comes from, for whatever reason, is I'm learning, I'm training to kind of read between the lines, see what's happening. And as always, folks, it's your information, it's your takes, it's your information, wrong one there, that I want to that adds the context and that adds the nuance to what we're going to be talking about here tonight, as always, with all this media stuff. So, as they were saying in the chat, I think that's what they're saying in the chat. You guys like my thumbnail, and I am going to be talking a little bit about. I feel like some of the stuff that we've been talking about, folks, in terms of the media and everything else. You know, some of it, we've got Fabrizio Romano in the back here, and Melissa Reddy, former Sky Sports correspondent. I've been writing some really interesting stuff. I've also been saying some interesting stuff as well that I wanted to assess, that I wanted to talk about. Now, I'm not going to use their comments as a overlapping, overarching thing for all transfer journals. Like, I'm not saying because Fab says it, Melissa says it, that means that they're all like this. I'm not even saying that they're like this. You know, I don't know them as people. I don't know what they're about. I'm just going to be looking at the words they've said, my own impression of it, get your impression of it, and what it means. Like I said, I think Sam's right. This is where now Newcastle are under a huge scope, and there's other rival fans who want to pretend like that we're a small club, we're irrelevant, this, that, and the other. I wonder if there's a measure, if there's, I haven't checked this, the algorithms and stuff like that in terms of how much Newcastle are being looked at. You know, I think it must be a lot more high than it was before. I'm pretty sure of that. But also, I think it's important to be able to analyze the news and where it's coming from. We've got to be able to. I think this is part of growing in an elite club, is having elite fans. And what I mean by the more we kind of get ourselves, what's the word I'm looking, experienced around the media and how it works, me included. I'm not like a media trained journalist, far from it. I'm just trying to learn things for myself. I'm watching other journalists and talking about it, learning from them how they interpret what they're saying is really, really key. So it's absolutely important. And it ties in with the stuff that we're talking about. You know, so let's do it. Let's see what they're saying. And the importance of us keeping calm and carrying on. Now, just before we get into that, I want to be able to say Dubravka, we saw Dubravka today as well. And God bless him, he's had a phenomenal time here at Newcastle United. 7 years on Tyneside. He's now moved on to Burnley. He's obviously came to us from Sparta Prague in 2018, had that incredible clean sheet on Manchester United in his first season. I remember he came on loan. We bought him for between 3 to 5 million. He had made 179 appearances for us with 37 clean sheets. I bet most of those clean sheets are under Eddie Howe. He's won the League Cup with us as well. And he's actually won Newcastle's Player of the Year in 2019-2020 and the North East Football Writers Association Player of the Year in 2018 as well. So he's obviously got loaned out to Man United for a time. The fans kind of fell out of favour of him a little bit over that, but he came back and he helped us last year to get into the Champions League. So I just want to say a big thank you to one of our long servants of the club, Martin Dubravka. God bless him. And thank you for his service. Right. So back to the media, back to everything that we've been talking about. Essentially, this is a quote. This is Melissa Reddy's post on X. It's quite a long post, and it's filled with what she's, I think, claiming. She's claiming, because she says Isak's camp here, the information that she's getting, or she's or whatnot. If she's getting it from somewhere else, or she's getting it directly herself, the impression I get is that she's getting it directly from it. That's the impression that she's giving me, and also her opinions on it. and other stuff that she says, which kind of sets the mood and tone for what I want to talk about. I also want to add that Melissa wrote the book for, I think for Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp, something where relentless. She wrote a book for about Liverpool, for Liverpool, a biography around Liverpool and whatnot. So that kind of sets the scene of where for me anyway, that kind of sets the scene of where Melissa's coming from. I wanted to brush that stroke a little bit there, but that's what I wanted to say. So this is Melissa's post, and she says, the frustration for Alexander Isak. Okay, you tell us, Melissa. Clearly, you must know. And his camp is they feel they very clearly and respectfully inform Newcastle of the forward's desire to explore a fresh challenge well ahead of the summer. So the way, again, first sentence, this is why I think she's certainly giving me the impression that she's getting it directly from Isak and his camp. And the other thing is that she's now setting up the scene. She's saying, hey, Newcastle knew about this way before the summer, right? But she's not saying when. Like, is it a month before the summer? Is it in January? Is it a year ago, like Craig Hope is saying now? Like, all of this stuff is coming out now, which is interesting. Like, Newcastle always knew. There was a general agreement on all this stuff. Okay, fine. She's setting the scene. Like, essentially, Newcastle knew about this. They should have got it sorted out. That's what's going to happen, essentially. That's what we're going to get through this, right? And they've been respectful. They've been very respectful. So, like, behind the scenes, they've been really respectful. She's saying clearly and respectfully inform them. I think I'm reading it as, and maybe I think too much, but I'm reading it as that she's also addressing the situation with Isak where he's been very disrespectful by not going to Singapore, by going to Spain, by his agent going around, dancing around town, doing all sorts of maneuvering to push to get Isak out of Newcastle United. So the scene is being set here by Melissa. I forgot again. I need to find out. Let me just, while I'm here, what was the name of the book that she wrote for Liverpool? So I know I'm not getting myself wrong. She wrote the book, Melissa Reddy book, Liverpool book. What was it called? Believe Us. That's it called. How Jurgen Klopp transformed Liverpool into title winners. So Melissa, how the Jurgen Klopp transformed Liverpool into title winners. Okay, so Melissa wrote a whole book about this. Okay, so in doing so, it afforded the club the chance to attack the market. So look, they told them in advance, and they forgive me, guys. You can feel my bias. Speaking of bias, in doing so, but I'm just reading this. I'm just trying to read between the lines. In doing so, it afforded the club a chance to attack the market. Hey, Isak and his agent were just trying to do Newcastle United a big favor on the front foot and be on the front foot and secure quality replacements long before it got to this messy point. So this is Newcastle's fault. And we've been talking about this. Was it not Tuesday? Or was it Tuesday or last week, Thursday? I was saying to folks, if Isak does not move to Liverpool, they're going to blame this on Newcastle. Be ready for this. They're going to blame this on Newcastle, right? It's long before it got to this messy point. It's not. Here we go. She says it's not Isak's fault. Oh my word! It's not Isak's fault. Newcastle had a mayor. It's Newcastle's fault. It's Newcastle's fault. Melissa, if your star striker halfway through the transfer window ups and declares, I'm not going to the football tournament with my team. I'm going to Spain, right? How does that not hurt our negotiations in the market with transfers? Aren't those players, their player agents, going to be saying, are you going to have any players left because your star striker's leaving? Like, do people want to be at your club? Of course that hurts your club. Melissa, I've had a mayor. missing out on so many of their top targets. Look at that. Now, so let's hit the tapping into the media trend here. Again, guys, I'm gonna count on your perspectives and your to keep things balanced. I'm already. This is just me reading between the lines, missing out on some of the top targets. If anything, it probably hardens the belief that their approach and ambition doesn't apply with his. Oh my days! This is no solid recruitment foundation. So I don't understand how us going for top targets doesn't apply with Isak. Does he want us to go for like low quality targets? Shall we sign players that no team wants to go? Like if Newcastle are going for top targets, quality players that even rival fans would agree are quality players, does not actually indicate that Newcastle have a quality, have a high ambition. You know, it's insane, and this is where I was trying to be very flexible with Isak's situation, and this is where I'm beginning to. This is where I'm. I don't know what the word is. I'm leaning against Isak on this now. Where I was quite flexible before with Isak, I felt that he's 25 years old. This is the first time the limelight has shone this brightly upon him, and he should thank Newcastle for that. But aside from that, the spotlight has shone this brightly on him on here, and a global big powerhouse in the name of Liverpool have shown incredible attention on him, and they're trying to build a galactical team. And he doesn't know what to do with himself, and he's got an agent and other people who I've said, like, I feel like are really pushing him, and I've got his head turned. But when he does this, when he releases this type of information against his club, talking about our ambitions and talking about how they don't line up with him, now derailing our football club, derailing everything that we're doing, and everything that you said before that, Melissa, around essentially, it's not Isak's fault that our transfer window hasn't gone. It's comments like this. It's information leaked from Isak in his camp like this that is what is derated, that is contributing. I'm not saying everything before I'm going to get, that I'm saying is contributing towards not helping. Because if we're speaking to other strikers, they're like, "Shit, have you read what they're saying on social media? Like, you guys don't, your ambitions don't align with your star striker," right? And this is where I'm leaning against Mr. Isak on this one. This is where you're now putting your club, Isak, no matter how much you might love Liverpool at the moment, your club is Newcastle United. This is where you're putting the reputation of your club in disrepute, absolute disrepute. And you're forgetting that you was nobody before you came to Newcastle United. People were laughing at Newcastle United for buying an unknown striker who scored 5 goals in his previous season in La Liga. Well, we're laughing at us for buying a striker for £70 million. And we made you great. We put the great in the name of Alexander the Great. And you turn around and spit in our face like that. All right, so I carry on. I feel, this is Melissa Reddy, this is now her opinion. I feel sorry for Eddie Howe. Melissa, my love, we don't need your pity nor your sympathy. Anyway, the players and the supporters, no thank you. And me as a supporter, I speak for myself. Newcastle are in the Champions League. Yes, we are. For the second time in 3 years. Yes, we are. Speaking of ambition. And they secured the first domestic trophy for 70 years. Yes, we have. Yet they are a structural mess of the pitch. Do you want to expand on that, Melissa? Do you know why you say we're a structural mess on the pitch? You want to leave out the context. I hope you do add it in your next line. I hope I'm wrong, right? Because I have a feeling you're gonna be talking about something else. Because you do know our CEO, God bless him, Darren Eales, has got blood cancer and he's had to step down. You do know that our former sporting director, Paul Mitchell, left on the second day of the transfer window. That's not Newcastle's fault. That's Paul Mitchell's fault. My word. Is that our fault? I hope you're going to add that context. and that our previous sporting director, Dan Ashworth, betrayed the club by talking to Man United. Right? But you're not going to add that context. Fair play. Many at the club point to the power struggle that ousted Guendouzi and Staveley. Who's the many people? But be specific. Many of the club point to the power struggle that ousted Guendouzi and Staveley as the root of several issues, especially the lack of communication and human touch. Oh, sheesh. With the exit of the latter, you know what? I don't blame Melissa for this one. I know where she gets it from, and it is some of our media journalists and people, and I understand, and supporters too. I'm not blaming like people for this. Like people are in love with Amanda Staveley, and look, Amanda Staveley, without her, we would not be where we are today. Without her tenaciousness, absolute credit to her. But her speciality and her work is in corporate mergers. She is a corporate person. She is not a sporting director or a communicator or anything like that. And it wasn't the greatest thing. And we need experts in those fields to be able to do that. I point to, and it's been pointed to me, the documentary that Newcastle did with Amanda Staveley when they showed how we negotiated with Everton for Anthony Gordon, right? How we walked around like we boosted we with such arrogance that we got Everton to reduce the fee on Gordon, and we showed it live on TV for everybody to see how we got won over Everton and what was the repercussions of that. Everton and every other club that watched the documentary, because it's still on Amazon, are saying, so that's Newcastle's negotiation tactics. They can pull that one over us. That is not what quality operators do. We're not supposed to know our sporting directors' names almost. They're meant to be working in the background, not doing films and letting everybody know. Those things don't help. But fine, I digress. Given how, I need to take this comment down, otherwise I won't be able to see what I'm talking about. Get to the last paragraph. How can I get the comment down? Because now it's in my way. Maybe I'll have to just work with it. I'll just work with it. Given how this window has gone, can Newcastle actually land a replacement for Isak? They're worried. Isak might just have to stay because we can't get a replacement. They're scared of that, honestly. How about Liverpool never went for Ekitike in the first? But anyway, fine. If they force him to stay, we didn't. You know what? We didn't force Isak to sign the contract either. We didn't force him to do that. Isak was very happy to sign the contract. And you know when we pay him every week, Newcastle Football Club, Newcastle supporters never say, well, we're forced to pay Isak's wages today. Why don't we ever say that? What? If Newcastle force him to stay, oh my word! Can they get the best out of him? Now I wonder if that's a warning. And I hope, Melissa, this is your opinion and not Mr. Isak's. Can they get the best out of him in the absence of that human touch? What does he need? A rub on his back? What does he need? Like I'm digress. Honestly, sorry, I didn't even know that I was going to go this. I didn't know I was going to feel about this. Like I feel the condescension in this post. I find it so condescending. It's unbelievable. But it's funny. I can't even, I'm beyond the anger point. I just think it's funny to this point that someone would speak this condescendingly to our club. So the reason why Isak refused to go to Singapore, flew on the plane to Spain, brought all this unnecessary and unwanted media attention, and contributed by doing that to partly to a bad perception of our club, especially when we're doing transfers, by our star striker going away, putting our club, the perception of our club in disrepute. But had we had the human touch, if only we had the human touch, this would have never happened. I thought it was the 300k. It wasn't the 300k, was it? Maybe because there's another club. Just say he wants to go to another. Just say he wants to go to another club, right? It's clear. All of this is, and I said this. I thought I was ready for this. I didn't. I'm not ready for it clearly, but it's all gonna. If Isak does not go to Liverpool, it's Newcastle. Just be ready for this, guys. If Newcastle does not go, if Isak doesn't go to Liverpool, it's Isak's fault. It's Liverpool. It's Newcastle's fault. Human touch. She asked the question. So I hope I've answered it, Melissa. If they sell, say I can't see the word, but I'm assuming it says Alexander Isak. Can they be trusted? Can they be trusted to reinvest the British record so nicely? Can we be trusted? Oh my days, Melissa. I don't know if you've seen our transfer record of us as of recently. Since the takeover, it is absolutely impeccable. We're the same when you're talking about can we be trusted? Again, you're talking like we're babies. Can we be trusted to handle this cup of tea? Can we, or this little toy, this little ratchet? Can they be trusted with this money? Or are they going to fumble it? Just remember who brought you Alexander Isak, who brought you Anthony Gordon, who turned around the career of Joe Linton, who gave you Tonali, even after he had a 1-year ban, and now he's a quality player that people are talking about linked to Real Madrid, who brought you Bruno Gomes, who's given you 2 England fullbacks in Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento, New England centre-back in Dan Burn, right? So can we be trusted? We've got one of the best transfer records. I'm pretty confident in our transfer. Can we be trusted? I'm sorry, folks. I'm really, really sorry. And I hope I haven't wound up anybody else. But I just feel the condescension in this post, and it's absolutely remarkable. I'm going to get into Fabrizio in a moment. But as I'm saying to you guys, be ready for this. I'm talking to myself as well, because I honestly know I can just sense it where all of this is going to go in terms of blaming Newcastle United. Alexander Isak is absolutely privileged to play for our great club. He's absolutely privileged to play for Newcastle United. And all of this is lost in this. And any journalist, and Melissa Reddy in this, with all greatest respect, your sympathy is for me is there's a word I'm trying to, is not genuine. It's just part of the condescending tone of this whole post. And you blaming Newcastle for this behavior is insane. Newcastle gave Isak some of the best moments in his career. The tifo of Alexander the Great, Isak on the stadiums. A team that works around him. A club, a city that's shown nothing but love for him. Speak only well of him. Anyway, so right, sorry folks, I did not expect to be going on like that for a little while, and I've lost my chat. It's so annoying. I've lost my chat. I was on Samsung. I think I'm getting closer. All right, so I'm going to go to Fabrizio, but let me know what you guys are saying in your comments. But I just preparing folks. Guys, I've got 60 people in the chat now. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I have mentioned that on Tuesday, I'm going to reset the comments for subscribers as well. So please, I love your comments. I love your suggestions. Even if it's like, we're having and everything else, like your views, everything that you add. So please do comment. Excuse me. Please do subscribe so you can comment by next week Tuesday. And the other thing I was going to say is also, if you would like to be a mod for the show as well, do DM me on X. I'll certainly prioritize folks who I know have been on the show for a while, just because they know how I go as well. And I'm going to be trying to maintain the quality that's got us this far in terms of a channel, in terms of our growth, by making sure we put things in place in the channel as well. So welcome to the show, guys. Again, please do continue to like, share, and subscribe. Someone please do let me know how many things we've got as well. I've already got into 11 o'clock. I'm going to be going over time, but I really didn't expect. I've seen the comment, but I hadn't really sat down and reflected on it to this extent. I think that's why it's kind of taken me like this. So let me see. Nat says, for me, it's not the disrespect received from the media towards our club. And as a Geordie, I'm protective of my club no matter what. Me too. Sophie B, good to see you. Sophie B, God bless you. It's already been proved that Fabrizio takes money to promote certain things. Indeed. Tinsei Akilu says, Isak see Newcastle rejected by all these strikers doesn't help. It doesn't help. But again, the other players, the other 25, 26 players we've got are not doing what Isak is doing. They're wearing the badge of pride. They're acting as men. They're going to work. They're not going to their agents. I don't see Bruno Gomes' agent going around the world, telling every media outlet he can, going on the phone to Milos already and telling them, the club is in this, it's just insane here. That doesn't give him the right to do that, in my opinion. Sam says fans don't sign the contracts, and well, he just gets paid to tell us the news. I think you're talking to somebody else. Jordy Toon for Life says, Paul from the Toon Review said he emailed Fabrizio to come on the show. He got a reply, 1,200 for 20 minutes. He's on the books of the big clubs, no doubt about it. He should have paid a 1,200 if I was him. I would have had some incredible questions. If I shouldn't have paid. You have to pay for the man's time. There's a lot of people that are asking for stuff. If you said 1,200, I'll pay the 1,200 if you can. I'll have some questions. I'd love to know. It's an opportunity. You have to pay for the man's time, I think. But in what you're saying, Jordy Toon, yes, there will be clubs that are going to be paying for him to. Obviously, the clubs will be paying for his post, and I think he'll also decline money from some clubs in order to make if he feels the information he's releasing might make another club look bad, or put them in a disadvantage. That's my opinion. Jeez. Tinsei says, blaming the media ain't fixing the recruiting method. Look in the mirror. Let me know about the recruiting method and what you think we should do, Tinsei. I would appreciate solutions, absolutely. Robojog says, listen, Phil, just sell Isak on a loan with a buy option for the price of staying in the good graces the LFC fans and keep it stepping. Don't forget that 2-0 to City, and I hear United needed tonight. Oh, yeah. Martin Bland says, we aren't really blaming the media and know our recruitment is screwed. Eddie's brother and a scout is not ideal. And excuse me, and we know it. I would just say that Eddie's nephew, I think, Andy Howe, helped bring us Tonali, helped bring us Bruno Gomes. So for all the stuff in regards to nepotism and stuff like that, he is highly regarded and highly respected as well. So I would add that. Sam says, it's funny you lot said nothing about the media or Fab where you were linked to Sesko. We were though, Sam. Like I don't know if maybe it's. I think this comes down to algorithms. When I feel like when rival fans say this, you weren't saying this before. This is a new thing. you're just complaining, and it's not just this in regards to Sam, like what you're saying. I do think this comes down to algorithms and what we see. I'm a Newcastle fan, so a lot of the information and stuff that I get online is Newcastle related. It's not Man United related or Liverpool related. So there'll be stuff that you have that you receive about your own club, the nuances, the complexities that only you, Sam, know. But me as a Newcastle fan, and also as like just content creator, I have to get information, I have to do all this stuff. This isn't a new thing. Like this isn't like a phenomena and stuff like that. Like it's we've been going on about this for really since even before the takeover. Where our takeover took 18 months because of this stuff, because and how the media are being beating us over the head about our owners and stuff like that. So it's not a new thing, just to say that, Sam. Nat says it's it's top of the food chain, which is a problem for our club. We have to climb up it, and the best way to do that is to win. Martin Bland says we did it, advertised us to everyone else to come in. We don't want the attention. We want a quiet KGB style swoop. Goodness gracious. Shane says there is no future for Isak at Newcastle. He's hated already. There is a future for Isak, and I certainly don't hate him. I hope it doesn't come across like this in this. And if it has, that's not the impression I wanted to give. My words are this is where I've leaned towards against him. When this type of information, this is not the first time I've heard this information. When reporters are saying this, Isak's camp have said this, that his ambitions don't allow in the club, what he's seen in this transfer window and stuff like that. It's now becoming a consistent thing. And when not just Isak, when any player currently employed by our football club, our great football club, is, and I'm sure you feel about the same this about your own club, speaks like this about against their own club after he's been treated so well, I'm going to speak about it. I don't hate him, but I'm not going to speak about him just because I don't want to come across like I'm hating him. Cy Robson says, I honestly thought that Isak would stay for one more season, then go to either Barcelona or Bayern Munich. They'll both need a centre forward next season. Well, we're going to read some stuff today that Newcastle still got a not for sale for him. So we'll see how that goes. I know that can change, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility that he could stay indeed. Yeah, Matt says Isak was always a talent, but we took a chance on him. We helped him, we built him. This is insane. I agree. Again, we've got 70 viewers in the chat. Please do continue to like, share, and subscribe. Get it out there. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And it's always great to see rival fans come on the show. You've been absolutely phenomenal. Always adding good context. I'll give it one more minute. Is there anything? BT says, Isak said in 2022, it is a great historical club that I think anyone would like to play for with amazing fans. They were a big part of why I came here. And it's only gone up since then. So all that's changed is because essentially a bigger club has come in. And just be honest about that and act like a man. Like, you know, you want to go somewhere else, fair play, but you're still contracted to the club. Go to the tournament in Singapore. Go play with the football team. Let your agent work quietly in the background with Eddie Howe and the directors of Liverpool. Don't put your club in disrepute. Speak well of your club. That helps when you speak well of your club. That helps other strikers want to be at your club. Cy Robson says, clearly Isak isn't a priority for Liverpool. If they wanted him that much, they would have let us get his replacement, Ekitike. Clearly, he's more important than Isak. That whole Ekitike thing, it's such a... The more I think about it, that whole situation has to be studied. How that, like, I'm lost for words because the more I think about it, and I've got a few Liverpool fans here, I just do not believe that Ekatike was your number one target. Since January, be hearing it's Isak. If it's Isak, you should have just contacted the owners and everything else before that. Keep this quiet, as you've done in all your other businesses. Why this has become, and I'm not saying Liverpool have done this, but it has become an absolute media storm from the beginning to the end. It's going to be intermediaries involved. It's going to be club agents involved. There's going to be people with interest for Liverpool, interest for Isak, interest for Newcastle involved. And it's just absolutely insane why none of this couldn't have been handled quietly. Wobodrug says, just learn I can block people on chat. Oh my gosh, my chat is somewhere. I don't even know you can do that. Yeah, so I've seen a few people argue, guys, if you're gonna, if folks are gonna like not really like each other or whatever it is, like just you can block each other, like it's cool. Okay, I'll give it one more minute in the chat, trying to get as much as I can. Chris Gardner says, excuse me, the same Melissa Reddy who said Dan Ashworth was going to be a game changer for Manchester United. He were indeed. How is Dan doing this in his new job, by the way? Indeed. And we do get things wrong. But my main thing is that she was an author for a book for Liverpool. And yeah, it's not even. It's just the condescending tone of the post like that got me a little bit there. Sophie B says, I used to really like Liverpool fans the way they have gone on this window. No better than Manchester United fans, to be honest. I don't think it's. I know what you mean, Sophie. I know that you go on a lot of shows, so you experience a lot of stuff as well, and so do I. But I've had quality shows. There's been like even Liverpool in the last show that I did, like there was a Liverpool fan that wrote a really encouraging comment to me about the show and how much he enjoys the show as well. Forgive me, I forgot his name. If he's here, God bless him. So, and I know you're not saying all Liverpool fans and stuff like that, but in my mind, I always try to separate. I have to continuously remember that in each fan base is going to be like different types of people and stuff like that. So, again, the comments are ringing off. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. This is just my first slide, and I've gone way over. Way over as well. Okay. Let's see. Let's go on to Mr. Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio Romano also helps us out. I had so many slides. I don't even know yet. Jeez, how we're going to do this. Let me take the comment. I always lose the comment. It's so annoying. Not the comment itself, but like, because I can't see the writing. I can't see the writing. Fabrizio Romano continues to, and he has a video on this as well. He's gone on the free Isak. He's just basically saying free Isak without saying free Isak as well. Fabrizio Romano says, I think there's a crucial point here. And he says this on the podcast Men in Blazers, something like that. I think it's on the 5th of August. Do check it out. It's very, very interesting. So when I'm talking to other folks on channels and stuff like that, and I talk about reading between the lines, I talk about, why, when any information is being released, not just about Newcastle, about your own clubs, whatever, who do you think is releasing? Who do you think is leaking this information? Who is it benefiting? The timing of it. Are you watching these videos that these big transfer journals are releasing, when they give their opinions on something as well? And sometimes we've taken certain things like as gospel, and it's because they get the outcome in terms of, they say a transfer is going to happen, and 90% of the time it happens. So it has happened, but there's also PR at work for every club, for Newcastle, for everybody. I guess I don't know if it's frustrating. What I'm always having to explain is, that this could be PR and stuff like that. People sometimes don't want to acknowledge it as well. So anyway, Fabrizio Romano says, I think there is a crucial point here. We always see Newcastle signing many players. You haven't seen them in the last 3 transfer windows, I'll tell you that. Okay. Bringing top players to the club. Thank you very much. But it's difficult to see Newcastle selling players. Oh God, I'm already laughing. I know where this is going. And sometimes some players who are younger, maybe want to develop in a different way. Okay, sorry, I'm going to just read it. You want to develop in a different way. Maybe they are scared. Jeez. Maybe they are scared to go to Newcastle. Maybe they're scared to Newcastle and not having the opportunity to leave the club in maybe 2 or 3 years' time. I can feel the implication is just oozing out here, and then he goes on to say what he's implying. So I think Alexander Isak can be also the opportunity for Newcastle to show that. Again, it's Newcastle's fault. Guys, it's Newcastle's fault. Hey, if people are scared to our club because they don't really see us selling players. We just sold Fabrizio. We've just sold in the previous transfer window Elliot Anderson and Minte for a combined fee of like nearly £70 million. Give us a break. Oh my word! Oh my word! So now he's saying Newcastle have created this really bad perception. They don't sell players. This is an opportunity for them to show that they're not that team. This is an opportunity for them to show people by selling Alexander Isak. Newcastle have an opportunity. He actually says the word opportunity. So I think Alexander Isak can also be an opportunity for Newcastle to show that yes, sometimes you also have to sell your. I think I can't see behind the thing. Your best. And let me just if I can get it off. Can I get it off? To sell your best player and all. Let me just see. Can I get it here? Can I get it down? Okay, brilliant. So what he says. So I think Alexander Isak can also be the opportunity for Newcastle to show that yes, sometimes you also have to sell your players. You can always keep all of them. You can't always keep all of them. So again, guys, get ready for this PR storm. I thought I was ready. Maybe I'm not ready. If Isak doesn't go, they're gonna blame this on Newcastle United. They're gonna blame this on Newcastle United, and it's gonna be phenomenal. Fabrizio's painted a picture of Newcastle people have this perception they don't want to sell players. And players sometimes want to move on, but they don't want now. They consider they're not going to sell them, and they're scared. He said the word "scared" to come. By selling Alexander Isak, this is an opportunity to show people that you're not that club. Can you see the reverse psychology here that we've got going on from Fabrizio Romano? It's so condescending, honestly. God bless Fabrizio Romano. I've got no angst, I've got no hate. And if I had £1,200, I would pay it to have him on the show to have 20 minutes. In fact, if I had £2,400, I'll pay it to have 40 minutes on the show, so long as he stays on the show. And I can have a good grilling session with him about some of these comments and go through this with him. And even just this comment, I'll just love to hear his thoughts on those things as well. So everybody's got a bias. There's a bias that's going on as well, and we've got to be ready. Sam said it at the beginning of the season as well, at the beginning of the show as well, that this is the big leagues. This is what happens, and this is what is happening. And they are all not all. Excuse me. In terms of Fabrizio, in terms of Miss Reddy, they are. They have a bias, a very strong bias. Melissa to Liverpool, very deeply to Liverpool. She's wrote a whole book for them. For you to write a book for a club, you've got some affiliation to that club. Um, we just got to be ready for it. We've just got to be ready for it. So the next up, we're speaking about Isak, just tying in everything into that. From the left to the right, in terms of like information that's been coming out. The first one is from Pope. My own thing again is in the way, which is annoying. But essentially, that Alexander Isak will not be playing in the Sela in the Sela Cup games this weekend. What do you guys think of that? He came into the club a couple of days ago. Again, he continues to train by himself. He went again, I think today, training by himself as well. That's the situation at the moment. He's not going to be going to the Sela Cup as well. There could be different reasons for that. Either he doesn't want to play in the Sela Cup. Maybe the fans aren't quite ready to see him. They're going to handle the PR. There's a varied reasons why he's not playing. Maybe all those things are right. My hunch is that my hunch is that he's refusing to play. That's my hunch. I sincerely and dearly hope that I am wrong on that. But I think he's refusing to play. Ben Jacobs goes on to say, understand that Newcastle's failure to sign Benjamin Sesko does not affect the Alexander Isak situation. Really? Go on, explain how does it not affect the Isak situation? Newcastle have other attackers in mind. Yeah, we do. And NUFC's feeling remains. So he's talking to Newcastle here, I'm assuming. And NUFC's feeling remains that Isak must be sold or extend with no middle ground. Isak has a date shown no willingness to do the latter. So by saying that, with Isak saying no willingness to the latter, he's saying that he has to be sold. The implication there is there. We're going to read an article from Mark Douglas where he contradicts that, and it's not just those two options, Ben. The option that we've been consistently saying is he's not for sale. That's the option that we have. Then he adds Liverpool are ready to bid again if given encouragement. I just don't understand it. Newcastle's feeling remains Isak must be sold or extend with no middle ground. Isak has to extend the contract or be sold. That's not the only options here. The option is that he's not for sale. You know, the option here is that he's absolutely not for sale, and that's where we are on it. Honestly, and then the final one. Let me make sure I'll get to read that. I'll use that as a reference point. That comment there. The other one is from Fabrizio Romano. Liverpool maintained their focus on Alexander Isak for the final weeks of the summer window. No new proposal ready to be submitted if Newcastle open doors to move. So again, quite similar to what Ben Jacobs is saying. Isak maintains his position. He doesn't want to play or stay at Newcastle. He wants to leave and join Liverpool. So that's where we are with that. Isak still wants to leave. Essentially, they're saying free Isak. So let me know what you guys are saying. Would you keep Isak? Do you think he's going? What's your thoughts? And again, the chat is doing really well. Folks, please do let me know how many likes I've got. We broke 100 last time. We've got an incredible ratio in terms of likes and subs. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Do remember going forward on Tuesday, by Tuesday next week, I will be changing the settings so those that subscribe to the channel will be able to leave comments. So please do, I encourage you to subscribe. I really, really enjoy engaging with you guys, and it's a humbling experience to be able to see so many comments, so many chats, people engaging, people talking, asking questions, being profoundly just incredible, really. So please do make sure you sub and subscribe, and appreciate you for that. And we are looking for mods as well. If you're interested in becoming a mod for Toon Tactics TV, do DM me on X. I will prioritize those that I know have been on the channel, coming on the channel for a while, just because they just know how kind of run things as well. My aim is always, and I'm going to get things wrong, I'm going to stumble in, and I'm going to get things wrong. But my aim, just remember, my aim is that I want us to have a quality channel, no matter how big or whatever it goes. I want it to be a quality channel for people. All right, so Toonsman says, we are NUFC and we love our club. I'm happy because we are trying to compete, that there is class. We aren't backing down and we won't. I love that. And I think that's my attitude, to be honest. I really do. Let me see what else are you guys saying about the whole Isak situation. I'm going to look for that one as well. BT says, the reason that Isak will not play in the Sela Cup is Eddie does not want to select him to play. Is that what's been said in the media, BT, or is that what you're saying? That could be the other possibility. Eddie just doesn't want to select him to play. Let's see what you guys are saying. What I just looking for the comments on. David Bates, have I mentioned that? Imagine. David Bates says Hopkinson needs to build from the top. Hopkinson, the CEO, of course, CEO David Hopkinson needs to build from the top downwards and ensure all know their roles, no egos, or you're out. Yeah, it's going to be, he's going to be setting the tone for sure. He is going to be setting the tone for sure. Big up Smokey. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for that, Smokey. Smash the likes button and subscribe. Get the likes up to 50. Come on, folks. Let's get the likes up to 50. That'll be absolutely amazing. Nat says, so I'm confused. Isak has been reporting to training, arriving early and leaving later. What does this mean? He's just been told to essentially avoid people, avoid the team. How is isolating or segregating? I don't know what the word would be. Just making sure that he's not coming in contact with people at the moment. Like how it says, he has to earn that right. He can't just, and the stuff that we've read today with what Isak's camp is saying to other people, he can't do that. We can't just allow that kind of situation be going on. He has the influence, he has the power to tell his agent to back down, and he's not doing that at the moment. Dave Eddy says, I want Isak gone, treated us like muck after he was treated like a king. Unforgivable. So Davey is very much for Isak leaving. Cy Robson says, if we don't get a replacement for Isak, we don't sell. And it's as simple as that. I don't understand what people understand about that. We're going to be talking about replacements. We're looking at, in a moment as well, Mr. Jackson, and already Bayern Munich, Napoli. We're not going to, it's highly unlikely. I don't like talking like this, but it's highly unlikely that we're going to win a one-on-one transfer battle with Bayern Munich. That's not going to happen. So that's Jackson off the table. Then it might be Larssen that we're going to get, but Larssen is a different profile, and we'll need someone else that can drop deep and collect the ball. That's how it really works for us. So we'll need two. So we've got to move on. We need to set a precedent that we won't sell if a Big Six team comes in for a player. We need to set a precedent, exactly, and that we're not going to be. We've got to get better with this. media stuff as well, I think. Liam Clark says, I've only got WhatsApp, comment on one of my comments. Okay, that's for someone else. Let's see if anybody says anything else about in relation to Sophie B says, Watermead if Jackson goes to Bayern. Okay. I don't know too much about Watermead. I'm getting kind of mixed reviews upon him, but let's see. Let's see. I hope he's good. Martin Bland says it's not just Bayern, AC Milan, Juve are into great. So that'll be something as well. Shane says, yup, and it takes a lot for me to like. Yup, and it takes a lot for me to like it. So all G time. Okay, I missed something else. Sorry, Shane. I didn't. Maybe you were talking to somebody else. Queen of Hearts says, opinion. Where is that concern? Let him go. He clearly wants. He clearly wants to let him. Sometimes players want to get gone. We want players who have the passion for the shirt, not just for the money. I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying, Queen of Hearts. I just think we can't just let him go. We have to get the best price possible. And under the current circumstances, we're not going to get the best price possible. And I think we've also, in my opinion, do the opposite of what Fabrizio Romano is trying to reverse psychology us to do, which is if we don't want to look bad to other players, we should sell Alexander Isak. I also think if we don't want to look soft to other clubs, we have to set a standard of how, if you want to come for our players, you come to us directly type of situation. Otherwise, this stuff is just going to continue. Okay, so moving on from Isak, get myself some water. Moving on from Mr. Isak. Just to add on this, we're going to talk about Sesko. And we talked about him on Tuesday. I tried to talk about breaking down my thoughts in terms of reading between the lines, some of the narratives and everything else like that. So he's obviously on his way to Man United right now. I think he's landed as well. Fabrizio Romano, Benjamin Sesko, and his agent, Elvis Basanovic, on the way to Manchester. I think they've landed already. The first pick of Sesko since becoming a new Manchester United player, the club he wanted, according to Fabrizio Romano. I've got some conversations about that as well. But yeah, so obviously Man United won in their pursuit of Mr. Benjamin Sesko. So let's talk about it. Let's see where we go from here. Okay, so the whole thing about just going back to what Fabrizio Romano said in terms of the club he always wanted. And I think he's alluding to the fact that people were saying that Sesko had agreed personal terms with both Newcastle and with Man United, and we talked about this in our last show. So and obviously Fabrizio denies that. So just to kind of explain that, to kind of go to, there's reports that contradict Fabrizio's views on that. One is from Plattenberg, who's obviously a German Sky News Germany correspondent as well. He explained, this is just before obviously we knew what happened with Sesko. Exclusive detail, understand that Benjamin Sesko and his camp have reached full verbal agreements with both Manchester United and Newcastle over a long-term contract. Fine details were settled yesterday. Right? It now depends on which club also reaches an agreement with RB Leipzig. So that's how German media seen it. This is also, what's the word I can say? Adding to that, Ben Jacobs said the same thing. He says, understand Benjamin Sesko has now agreed financial terms with both Manchester United and Newcastle. Both clubs are confident on reaching an agreement with Leipzig in the coming hours. Manchester United believes Sesko wants to join them. right? So obviously that's what's happened. So Mr. Sesko had given a verbal agreement, and they on terms of his contract and everything else, to both clubs. And that's what we we're talking about in the previous show on Tuesday. When we're talking about in the context of negotiation, neither club at the time, nor Newcastle nor Man United, could go to Leipzig and say, hey, your player wants to play for us. He's agreed terms with us, or one or the other. Therefore, giving leverage to that club. What's happened is that Sheshko, at least according to Mr. Plattenberg and according to Mr. Jacobs, has given his agreement to a personal agreement to both clubs. So now Leipzig can say, none of you have leverage. You have to settle the fee with us, because he's at least by agreeing financial terms with the both of you, it's an indicator that essentially that he's ready to play for either of you, giving the leverage back to Leipzig. And as Mr. Plattenberg says, it now mainly depends on which club also reaches an agreement with RB Leipzig. Now, there was a Slovenian newspaper, the same guy who reported it last time, who said, it came, obviously, I used him on the show on Tuesday, who said that, look, as of Friday last week, everybody believed that Sheshko was going to go to Newcastle United. Man United, to their credit, came back and convinced Sheshko to join them instead. So it was a very close run thing. So unlike what Fabrizio was saying, and this is the part where I feel we are beginning to see some PR going on, is that this whole thing about it's only Manchester United, I only had Manchester United, he may have. But according to reports and what we can see in action, is that there was an agreement with both clubs. And this, even if maybe you can say, maybe be a bit cynical about it and say he did that so both clubs didn't have leverage over Leipzig. He wanted to make sure Leipzig got the full amount got the best money out of it, and they absolutely did. But essentially, sorry for my. I've got some. I had to clear my throat. Goodness. And but Man United came back and they won the transfer in the end. So Fabrizio is now going to go on the mission, in my opinion, to ensure that Mr. Sesko comes across as he's only ever wanted Man United, there's no confliction and stuff like that. And that's fine. And that makes sense. Just to again add, German newspaper Bild, a huge newspaper, not necessarily always reliable, but is a huge German newspaper, had saying the same thing. Newcastle United continued to apply the pressure. This is just before the Man United won. The Champions League club is looking for successor to Alexander Isak, who has reached an agreement with Liverpool. The Swede has returned to the club since Monday after his unauthorized trip to Spain, a situation that all parties want to resolve quickly. Then they say, in addition, Manchester United is remaining adamant and is also desperate to sign Sheshko. RB Leipzig expects an offer from the Red Devils soon, but will come to fruition. Will that come to fruition? They don't know. The club actually needs to sell players first and free up some of its salary budget. It's unclear how Manchester United will currently manage their deal financially. Well, they're about to sell Garnacho, so I think that's a big clue there. And obviously, they weren't to know that. The last thing he says, most importantly, however, as reported, still depends on Sheshko's decision. According to Bild information, he is said to have told both clubs that he only wants to join them. So, Plattenberg, Ben Jacobs, and the Bild all say that Mr. Sheshko either agreed financial terms or has also said that has also said that he's agreed it with both clubs. So just reviewing that situation, I know some of you, I think some folks were saying he's gone. David Eddy, you're referring to Sesko. David Eddy, he's gone. No point in talking about it, to be fair. I don't know if you're referring to Sesko or to Isak. Could be either nowadays, isn't it? Shane Conceded says you're smarter than most. And are you talking to Sophie there? Ashraf says PIF don't care about Newcastle. I disagree. They've invested a lot in Newcastle. I just think they need to. They are. We're going to review this transfer window. I haven't quite made up my mind on everything just yet. But I disagree with the point that they don't care. They've invested a lot of money into Newcastle and people and time. Brian Moran says Newcastle aren't a top 6 club. Be 20 years of clubs. Be 20 years of winning trophies. Are you saying 20 years of they need to win 20 years of they need 20 years of winning trophies, and that means Tottenham aren't a top 6 club? So I don't know, but I understand where you're coming from. My stance, my own individual stance, is that I wouldn't want Newcastle's legacy to be tied to the top 6. I want Newcastle's to build their own legacy. That's kind of how I see it. Let me see if there's any more comments. And folks, please do remember to like, share, subscribe. I don't know if we've hit 50 likes just yet. Do let me know. It'll be great to have you. Ridwan says he has always wanted Man United. If he wanted Newcastle, then he would have joined Newcastle. Okay, since Newcastle made 2 bids before Man United even made a single bid. Yeah, he kept Newcastle waiting for a reason, and that is always always a possibility, Ridwan. And that reason could be that he wanted Leipzig to be able to get the best bid possible. But it's a high risk strategy also, Ridwan, because by agreeing financial terms of both clubs and essentially putting Leipzig in a position where they get the highest bid, and Leipzig don't know if Man United got the money, he always risks Man United just walking away from the deal. So there would have been something to say, some sort of assurance to say that he wants to join. But I see where you're coming from with Ridwan. I just think I just don't think it was as black and white as that. Any more comments? Kim Cam, good to see you. God bless you. Evening to Tsunami, evening Philip, evening to you, Kim Cam. Always a blessing to see you. Shane Considine says Newcastle thought there would never be another Shearer. I thought there would never be another Cantona. Isak will be replaced. And you know what? You got to think. Sometimes you do have to think that way as well. That you will continue to you're not, when our growth isn't hinged on just one player, and there is truth in that. John Kay says, let's see how long fans stick with Eddie when we can't string a row of wins together without Isak and he has to eat humble pie. We have to be resilient and we have to be ready. Absolutely. Okay, so guys, we've got 81 folks in the chat. Please do remember to subscribe. Do remember that on Tuesday, by Tuesday next week, I'll be changing the settings, and so essentially folks who are subbed on the channel will be able to leave comments in the box. I love your comments. I love the nuance and the intelligence and the engagement that you guys bring. It's phenomenal. So please do subscribe. It'll be absolutely phenomenal to have you guys to continue to share your comments. Hit the notification bells as well. I'm looking for mods for the channel as well. If you'd like to be a mod, do DM me. If I'm blessed to have people that want to be part of it, I will prioritize those who have been on the channel for a while, just because they know kind of how things flow with the channel. This is all my intention behind all of this, is to continue creating a quality channel and content for you guys that got us to this point in the first place. I'm gonna stumble along. I'm gonna get things wrong. I'm ready for that, but just hang with me and just know that my heart and my vision is to continue to give you guys quality content as well. So just hang with me while I kind of go through the ups and downs of trying to make sure that we continue to bring you quality content. Okay, so that's enough about Benjamin Sesko. We'll go back to the alternatives, and we're going to talk about the alternatives because it also touches on the whole transfer window in itself and where things are heading. This is from today. This is from today. This is from Plattenberg. FC Bayern have, this is around Mr. Nicolas Jackson and Mr. Wissa, but we'll start off with Nicolas Jackson. FC Bayern have made inquiries about Nicolas Jackson, so have other clubs, in the past few hours. And this is obviously on the back of it coming out in the Times newspaper and others that Newcastle are essentially kind of making solid inquiries for Mr. Jackson as well. Chelsea want 80 million and Newcastle willing to offer 60 million. The same kind of negotiation and bricksmanship stuff as well. I've said in the previous show, and I've said it in WhatsApp's chats, when this information was first being released, I've said that Chelsea want a bidding war. It's been the repeat of literally every signing, every player that we've gone for. Newcastle go in, they firm up, they make an inquiry. They made and decide to firm up their inquiry. It doesn't even matter what stage, whether it's just an inquiry or more concrete talks. It goes out into the media, and almost like a prior, the selling club essentially wants a bidding war. And in every situation, we've had essentially legacy clubs coming in. So FC Bayern have made inquiries about Nicolas Jackson in the past few hours. Bayern have gathered information on his current status, price, and conditions. Newcastle are seriously interested. Great. So we've got Bayern Munich now involved with Nicolas Jackson. The other alternative. Now we've got Wissa as well. Liverpool. This is from the Empire of the Cop. Now, I didn't take the time out to see if the Empire of the Cop is like a trusted, reliable source. If anybody knows them, if there's any Liverpool fans, please do let me know. I'm very open to being corrected about them. But obviously this information has come out, so I'm going to talk about it. Just let me know how reliable. If you're like, oh, why did you mention it? They're not really reliable. Cool, no problem, right? I'll kind of ignore it. But it's come out, and Transfer News have quoted it. Liverpool are considering a move for Brentford's Johan Wissa if they fail in their bid to sign Alexander Isak. And again, this has got the whiffs of the Ekatike situation around it already. So with the alternatives that Newcastle are already exploring, there is already a bidding war that is brewing. And I'm mentioning this now already before kind of discussing these players, is that this is like the general theme of the whole window itself. And like I've explained, the process is Newcastle make an inquiry, like a general inquiry, like Bayern Munich have had. What's the status? What's the price? What's the conditions? We might be willing to offer this or that price or whatnot. See what Chelsea come back with. Chelsea will do their own kind of consultation with other clubs, find out what they're willing to, how much money they're willing to bring to the table. Then obviously speak to Jackson to get his preference of what he wants to get as well. And essentially, but they've obviously got it. They've also put it out there in the media using Newcastle. That Newcastle are interested. Other clubs have now come in like fish, piranhas, shall I say, and we've essentially a bidding war, or we're on the precipice or on the verge of a bidding war. Should Newcastle firm up their interest? Should Bayern Munich or any other club firm up their interest? So Nicolas Jackson's situation is at a different stage at the moment. Clubs are circling. No doubt, if Newcastle do not firm up the interest, for instance, with a bid, and Jackson goes to Bayern Munich, no doubt other media will just say he rejected Newcastle. They're not going to add the context that we're adding now. They're not going to be interested in any of that stuff. They're just going to add to that as well. But that's the situation that we're in with Nicolas Jackson, and that's just like a side piece. So we'll see what happens with that. The Wissa situation again is very, very interesting. I don't know if the Source Empire of the Cop are a good source or not, but just taking their word, and I know that they've also recently said they're interested in getting Mr. Barcola involved as well. Going for Wissa again for me kind of says, Ekatike. You know, do you really want Wissa? If you really want Isak, 150 million, and we keep it moving. So yeah, that's where we're at in terms of Wissa. I don't know if this is another, essentially like a transfer threat, shall I call it, from Liverpool, or intermediaries or agents linked to Liverpool. But again, games have been played. There's a lot of brinksmanship. The club that's going to benefit the most from it in both situations is always the selling club, Chelsea and Brentford. So yeah, it's an interesting position again, and this leads us to the next alternative we're talking about in a moment that Newcastle are looking for, but we're very much running out of strikers to get at the moment as well. So we will see where we go. The Stretford End says Jackson's rejecting you, and this goes back to my point. No one's going to look for the context. Jackson is rejecting you. And all the other stuff as well. So that's all going to pile up. And that's the situation that we're in terms of that. Again, I would, in terms of the perception that's going on and what's happening. So it is getting very, very difficult in terms of signing players and where we're at, signing forwards, shall I say, at the moment. So we are where we are with that. Shane Constantine says Jackson and Wissa is better than Isak that wants to play for Liverpool. There's always been players that want to play for different clubs but can't, and they still put out good performances. Suarez did that for Liverpool, and I'm sure other players have done it as well. So if Isak does stay, I trust Eddie Howe's management, or I have confidence, in Eddie Howe's management, because he's showed it in the past, that he can still get the best out of Isak, even though his head has been turned for a bit. We can get his head turned back, just like we did with Gordon, by the way. It took a while, but we got there. Brian Moran says Jackson goes to Germany to sit on the bench instead of playing for Newcastle. You know what? That is a very likelihood, but some might say that is a move that some players would still want to do. I would, I wouldn't want that for him, but it's the player's choice. We'll see what he does. John K, but I understand the sentiment, Mr. Moran. Appreciate you for that. John K says, God bless you, John K. Good to have you on. 2, won't buy Jackson. Couldn't afford his wages. He's a hothead and a few red cards. Yeah, I think it's in the 100K, but I think we're willing to pay higher wages for sure. We showed up for Benjamin Sesko. We're definitely willing to break our wage structure for the right player. He showed definitely flashes of having a hothead, and there's different reasons for that, I think, as well. I'm not making excuses for him, but Newcastle's squad, the Newcastle team is a very settled team, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Jackson would mature and become a better player playing at Newcastle. Ridwan says, Max Erbal came out and said there's nothing in the Nicolas Jackson to buy links. Okay, that's interesting. I'm sure Chelsea's intermediaries or people linked to Chelsea are still going to push that. If you have a chance, do let me know who is interested in Jackson if you are able to, or anybody really. But I appreciate you for updating that, Ridwan. Matlu, God bless you, Matlu. Good to see you. Matlu says, seems like clubs are using our club as their scout. I feel like they're using us for price to get their price points set and then moving for the player. Shane says Wissa's numbers are good. They are good. They are good. Absolutely. Prem proven as well. Kim Camp says it looks like all the clubs want to raise the prices for the Toon. Yes, but after the whole Sesko, us willing to bid up to nearly £70 million for Ekatike, for and for Sesko, I can see why if you're Chelsea selling Jackson, who's 24 years, just 2 years older, hasn't hit his prime yet, is very much prem proven. As I know he has his flaws for sure. Jackson has his flaws, but he's an all-round very, very good player and still has the potential to be elite if he allows a coach like Eddie Howe to really, if he give himself over to a coach like Eddie Howe to really, really mold him and shape him. But yeah, if you're Chelsea, you're going to say Newcastle. You're going to do what Brentford did to Man United. When Man United initially bid 45 million for Mbeumo, and Brentford said, no. You paid 60 million for Cunha, and Mbeumo just as good as Cunha. You can pay 60 million for him as well. They ended up paying a 71 million package for Mbeumo. And Chelsea are going to do the same thing. And it makes sense for them to do that. John Kay says, it's all hearsay. The PIF have already helped Chelsea out. What's the point? The Toon doing the same. Have I missed something, John Kay? Let me know. Maybe you're talking to somebody. Maybe you guys are having a conversation amongst yourselves. Agent Pickett says, Wissa will do well at Liverpool. I think so too, actually. Okay, so SA Scouts are good to have you, sir. God bless you. 59 plus. Tottenham interested in Jackson if Richarlison leaves. Wow, we could be in a bidding war with Tottenham. Thanks for the update, though. Kim Cam says, I hope PIF buy all the cartel clubs in retail price for BlackRock. Goodness gracious. Dave Yedi says, NFC blog reporting the Toon are looking at Kenneth Taylor, Ajax player of the season. I don't know who Kenneth Taylor is. I have to do my research, Dave Yedi. I hope he's good. But I won't lie, I don't know who he is. I'm ignorant of that. I am ignorant of that. My apologies. But thank you for the update. The Sheffield then says, besides all the banter, Newcastle need to go for players that no one else wants. Not better players, but younger players. You have to get Champions League this coming season. I agree you have to get Champions League this coming season. I appreciate your comments, Sheffield, and I understand where you're coming from. If you're saying players that no one else wants, and you qualify that saying, no, I'm not saying bad players, I'm saying younger players. There is you've offered a solution, which is more than what a lot of people have done. So I appreciate you for that. But to achieve Champions League, we do need players that are seasoned and experienced or have some proven ability, like your Nicolas Jacksons and others. It's a higher risk for players that are younger that nobody else wants. I'd love for us to be able to do that, but we're not quite yet in a position to do that. Not yet. After this season, I think we will be, though. SA Scouser says, and God bless you, SA Scouser. Thank you for that. Hit the likes, folks. Guys, have we reached 50 likes? Do let me know if we reached 50 likes. Or hit our likes to view ratio is always absolutely phenomenal. We'll get so many more people subscribing. I think we're very close to getting 900 subs as well. We might even get 900 subs on this show as well. So do let us know if we hit 900 today while we're live. I'm going to give it another 20 minutes as well. So do let me know if you guys are enjoying the show. By the engagement, again, the chat is absolutely amazing. Shane says, see, Newcastle's are victims of the game. You are institutionalized to Isak. You need the player in par. I don't think we're institutionalized by Isak. And I do feel like there's like this sort of kind of reverse psychology in terms of getting Newcastle to leave Isak, so we don't look like we won't sell players, or we're stuck to Isak, or we're afraid to grow from that. We sold our two best youngsters last time. last summer transfer window in Elliott and in the Minter. We didn't want to, but we did. Had we not sold them, we would have such a stronger squad. I just think it's the whole situation about how this whole process of Isak has come along, the media attention, the constant, the agent of Isak going around, bad mouthing our club, putting our club in disrepute. That does not get does not make Newcastle want to sell their players, or not want to sell their players, but put us in the position where we're more open to it. So I think that's what it is, in my opinion. BT, have we reached 900? Incredible. Guys, you are absolutely amazing. We've hit 900 subscribers. I'm absolutely stoked. We've got here so quickly as well. And again, it's your engagement, it's you sharing, it's you liking, it's you subscribing. You're absolutely phenomenal, guys. God bless you all. Thank you. We've got 96 folks. 97 people watching the chat watching the show. All the newcomers, welcome to the show. God bless you. Please hit that like button. Hit the notification bell. Please do subscribe. Someone said congratulations and I missed it. Whoever said congratulations. Oh, yes, Cy Robson said it. Thank you, Cy. Really appreciate you for that. And it's because of you. It's because of all of you guys in the chat. Honestly, you've been absolutely phenomenal. Have I just seen Igal? I did see Igal. Igal from Talks Football. Yes, Phil, Igal. Absolutely incredible to have you on the show as well, watching live. Guys, if you don't know about Igal Talks Football, Arsenal football fan, but also incredible person and human being. Great content on his channel as well. If you don't know about it as well, I do encourage you to visit, to like, to share, subscribe. He's absolutely incredible. Hopefully, I'll have him on my show as well. So do come on as well. Sophie also says big up to Igal. Great to have Mr. Igal watching the show. All right, so it could be that Mr. Jackson and Mr. Wissa could be going to other clubs as well, or they could be going to Newcastle. We will find out. I don't know if both will go. People have been talking about the AFCON stuff, which is that, by AFCON, they'll both be going. So Newcastle might have to vary up a bit. So if they get Jackson, they probably won't go for Wissa. They might get a Larssen. If they get Wissa, they might not then get Jackson. They might get a Wissa. They might get Larssen, or someone of someone who's not like essentially an international for an African nation, essentially. Otherwise, you lose both strikers. So I can understand the logic in that. I would prefer Jackson to Wissa in kind of different scenarios as well. So we will see when we are there. All right. So the other alternatives that we've been looking at, obviously, we've talked about Mr. Malik Thiaw also on Tuesday, and this is from Fabrizio Romano, who's been very kind of up to date on this. Newcastle have made new direct approach with AC Milan and Malik Thiaw's camp. And we talked about this next line. We talked about this on Tuesday. I said this on Tuesday, that when it was announced that Newcastle have agreed personal terms with Malik Thiaw, that it being announced, and then it was also said what the next line is, which is Newcastle trying to agree terms with AC Milan, but manager Alex Allegri wants Thiaw to stay. For Milan, it's clear proposal out of market value or he stays. So when that whole thing about Allegri wanting to stay, we talked about it on Tuesday. AC Milan were or are in the pickle because they tried to sell Malik Thiaw for £21 million to Como. He was their and he still is their fourth choice centre back. So they made it very, very, and Mr. Malik Thiaw was about to go. The only reason it didn't happen is because Malik said, I'm not going. He stopped the transfer. I think because he knows that Newcastle are interested in him. That's my take. So any buyer, not just Newcastle coming in, are going to be saying to Como, hey, you were going to, not to Como, to AC Milan, hey, you're going to sell Malik Chow for £21 million. Let's start off from there. And we know that you don't want him. We know that you don't want that he's your fourth choice centre back. We know he doesn't want to be here. The fact that he's already willing to sign personal agreement terms with us. Let's get the fee up. So in order to add interest, in order to kind of not sell him at the dip, which is what AC Milan are having to do, they released on Tuesday this whole thing about Newcastle being involved, which they are, just like it is for Jackson, just like it is for Wissa, just like for everybody else. Hey, Newcastle interested in him. Anybody else interested? Please, 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 please. We need somebody to be interested. Otherwise, we can't sell him. The other stuff they've also included is that Allegri, he was so impressed with Mr. Chow over the preseason that we have to keep him now. Again, trying to protect their price. And look, they're a selling club. They need to be able to get the best deal possible for their player. So now we've heard that Newcastle are putting in new bids somewhere between 35 million, I think, 30, 35 million, something along the lines. People are already saying they were going to sell him for 21 million. What's going on? There is a prem tax. There's also this kind of situation where now AC Milan are pretending they can't sell the player, but also that there will be other clubs interested in Malik Chow as well, especially at that price. So Newcastle will probably have to buy him at quite a significantly higher price, but still perhaps it will end up being a bargain. Should he fulfill his potential at Newcastle as well. So we've got that going on. Hopefully we'll get him over the line. I'm hearing a lot of good things about him. We've done scouting reports on him before. So let's see if we can get him over the line. That'll be absolutely phenomenal for us. Also, speaking of Mr. Larssen, Mr. Craig Hope has been quite consistent in reporting that now Jorgen Strand Larssen, I didn't read that part, is Newcastle's number one target for the striker position. Obviously, after the whole Sesko stuff. We did a scouting report on Larssen in the last couple of weeks, I think. Remind me if I'm wrong about that. I think we did it in the last couple of weeks. We'll do it again, updated a little bit more and a little bit more in depth once we get a little bit more confirmation on Strand Larssen. And then it might be a Strand Larssen Nicolas Jackson situation, possibly. I wouldn't, we'll talk about it. I was going to say I wouldn't mind that, but I'm gonna sit on the fence on that for a while. But let me know what you guys think. Malik Chow, Strand Larssen. Strand Larssen now number one target. Don't be surprised if you end up buying him for £60 million. People are going to be like, I can't believe it's £60 million, but that's where the market is at the moment. And Malik Chow as well. So we've got those guys there. Again, I think there's a lot more twists and turns with this window. There's still a lot more to happen. There's still a lot more to happen, folks. So let me know what you guys think so far. I'm going to read the chats before we close off the show. Please do continue to hit like and subscribe. Please do continue to hit the notification bell. Just also, again, a reminder, next week, Tuesday, I will be changing the settings a little bit. So the folks that have subscribed to the show will be able to leave messages in the chat. And I love your messages. I love your comments. You're absolutely phenomenal. So make sure you do subscribe because I want to be able to hear from you. The other thing is mods. I'm looking for mods. Do DM me if you're interested in being a mod. And if I'm blessed to have people that would like to come on, to be mods, I will prioritize those that have been on the show for a while, just because they know how the flow of the show, how I am as well. I'll have a few things in terms of just, policies and stuff. Policies. What's the word? Things for the conditions for the show in terms of just be respectful. Folks have always been respectful and stuff like that. It's all change. Not everybody likes change. And just bear with me. I'm not going to get all these changes right. It's going to be like, oh, I like this before. I get it. But just remember, my heart or my intention is to continue doing the quality show that got you guys here in the first place. And I am going to get things wrong, guys. I am going to get things wrong. Bear with me, the bumps on the road. And hopefully we will get, and we will not just hopefully, we'll continue as the channel grows. We will continue to not only grow, but grow in quality as well. So that is my heart. That is my intention for the show. So please do, guys, continue to like, share, and subscribe. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Shane says, when you have mods, I'll help. Sam, I'm coming for you. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate you for that. Adrian Pickett says the marauding Lancasterians have certainly boosted the traffic. Indeed, and we're happy for it as well. John K says Wissa, Watkins, Paqueta, Diblin, all for 150 million if Isak goes. Wissa, Watkins, Paqueta, all for 150 million. That's an interesting package. I would want Jackson instead of Wissa. I'll be okay with that. And Jackson instead of Wissa. And I'll be okay with that. Paqueta, I can see Paqueta as well. Diblin, we're not going to get Diblin now. We've got a right winger in terms of Elanga. But I see what you're saying, John. Is it a good package? It would have been had we not had Elanga, and possibly I think there's better options for Wissa. Sophie B says, I don't have X, or I would. It's fair play, Sophie. Let me know if you want to be a mod, and definitely. And I think you're talking to me, but let me know if you want to be a mod. Queen of Heart says, I'm more than happy to help Philip as a mod. Thank you, Queen of Heart. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. Shane says, only messing man, but chill. I think I'm talking to someone else. All right, so what else have I got? What else? What do you guys think? Oh, so Cy Robson says, is Malik Thiaw a fast centre back? He is. He's he's fast, he's athletic, very good in 1v1s, especially going if he has to hit the I've lost my words now. If he has to go down the flanks, for instance. I'm hearing he's both footed as well. I should remember this. I just can't remember that by his both footed as well. So the Sven Botman and Malik Thiaw partnership is what Paolo. I'm gonna keep repeating this. The Sven Botman, because it sounds good. The Sven Botman and Paolo Maldini partnership is what Paolo Maldini tried to get AC Milan, but before we bought Sven Botman. If they were otherwise, that partnership will be at AC Milan right now. So if Paolo Maldini, who knows a little bit about defending, wanted that partnership, I'm going to trust his instincts on that as well. So yeah, it would be great to have that. Sophie even says Malik Thiaw had a good bit of pace. Had a good bit. Has he lost it? I hope he still has it. Phil F says, great name, by the way. God bless you. Newcastle never bid for Cunha. I tell them. Embuemo. Yes, tell them again. Never let the truth get in the way of a good narrative. And that's exactly what we've been discussing. Yes, interest, but no bids. Correct. Absolutely correct. Bid at 50 million for Pedro. Yes, we did. Which Brighton rejected. And he joined Chelsea for 60 million. 10 million pounds more. Yeah, and we can say that about a lot of players as well. And for me, my count is João Pedro. Yes, we bid for him. Dean Huijsen, yes, we bid for him. Sesko, obviously. Ekatike, Sheshko, Pedro, Dean Huijsen, Dilap. Those are the people. Those are the guys that we actually bid for and went in for, in my opinion. John K says the Toon should make it 24 hours for potential signings to answer, then move on to the next one instead of dragging their heels. Yes, but there's a reason why I don't think. In some cases, yes, I agree. In some, like João Pedro, we dragged the heels a bit there. We should have just paid and went. But in other cases, we can't do that for every. And I know you might not be suggesting that, John, but I don't think we can do that in every case. Just because players will wait to see if they can get better offers. They will risk it. Kim Cam says, Sophie B. Oh, no, he's talking to somebody else. Sorry. Matlu says, I prefer Strand Larssen anytime over Jackson. I think I'm thinking as a combination. So Jackson's very good at dropping deep and collecting the ball, connecting the midfield and with the forward line. Larssen is better at playing on the shoulder on the last man. And I think their combination would be very, very good. So I think both of them would be a way forward. I think if we can do that. Sophie says, "I'm just glad we didn't get Madueke." Anyhow, he bangs this season, Sophie. I'm going to go back to this. BT says, Cy Robson, Malik Chow has a top speed of 32.30. I think even that's fast because I think even Van der Ven's on 34, so it's not too far off that. Sam says, and God bless him, he says, hit the likes button. So guys, please do hit the like button. Absolutely. How many likes do we have, folks? Does anybody know? Queen of Hearts says, hit the likes. Hit the like. It has positive effects. It absolutely does. So Robson says, I'm not on X, but if you want mods, I'll be happy to help out. I appreciate you for that, Sam. Absolutely incredible that you've put yourself forward. Absolutely. Thank you. I will put your name on my list as well. I'm so grateful for people that are volunteering to do this. Sophie B says, everything takes time, Philip. You will get there. Thank you, Sophie. I appreciate you. Thank you. Just hanging with me. I am going to thank you for hanging in there with me. BT says the same thing, Philip. Practice makes perfect. You will get there. Thank you. That means a lot. That honestly means a lot. I'm always nervous about changes and stuff like that, but yeah, that really does encourage me. Samsung says decent set of players, but would definitely cost more than 150 million. I think that's in reference to the earlier stuff around the transfer stuff. Adrian Pickett says, we're here because you make great content, Philip, mistakes and all. Thank you so much. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Hawks, God bless you. Welcome to the channel. Big up to you, Hawks. John K says, if we keep losing players, we are going to ask the cleaner to be our new sweeper and the bloke that sells the matches to be the striker. If it comes to the worst, I'll play. Goodness gracious. Shane says, sorry, before I go, do you think Lautaro Martinez... Sorry, do you think Lautaro Martinez could be bought for Sesko's money? Yes, he could. Plenty more fish in the sea. He could. I don't rate Lautaro Martinez. Not when I say don't rate. It's not rate. Obviously, he's achieved a lot. I just he's not my kind of player, stylistically. I don't think he. Yeah. I think the mode of your. I prefer more complete strikers like Isak, a Jackson to a lesser extent. We know his issues with finishing and everything else, but he has all round good play. So Yeah, Lataro wouldn't be my guy. Cam says Jackson is heavyweight. He will fly. Do you know what, guys? I think Jackson has been painted really into a caricature, and I think he's had some tough times at Chelsea, not because of Chelsea, but in terms of fans and everything else. I think the love that if he feels the love, and I'm sure he'll get the love that he will get at Newcastle. I think you could really see his confidence rise if he sees a tifo of himself, like the one we did for Alexander Isak. I think we could see a turnaround we haven't seen since Joe Linton. I'll put that might be my hot take. If Newcastle, who are famed, we are famed for showing the love that we do for players and making them better, show it to Jackson, which I'm sure we will, should he join, I could see a similar turnaround to Joe Linton. Absolutely agree with that. Kim Cameron again says Jackson could be better than both fancy other names. He is strong and scores goals. Is that better than both better than both Larssen and Wissa? Yes, I think he is. I think he's better than both of them. I agree with that. Queen of Hearts says, as silly as it sounds, who hopes Sesko gets? No. I don't. No. No. We don't. I don't wish any injuries on any player. Absolutely not. And we're better than that. We're better than that. We will through it all. We're still better than that. Phil F says Charles' top speed is 30. Oh, it's 34. Van der Ven's top speed is 37. Okay, so I said 32 earlier. Right, so he is very fast. He is very fast. To answer the earlier question, he is very fast. We need it. I think we need a fast centre back. Matt Lou says Palvides from Benfica is a gem nobody is talking about. There's also a Portuguese player from. There's another one for a top club, not Benfica, not Porto. Is it Benfica? There's another one. It might be Palvides, but I can't remember his name being that. That's really good as well. Sophie B says everyone smash the likes. Absolutely, folks. Subscribe if you're new. Road to 1K. I love that. Road to yes, of course. I forgot. We're 900 subs. We're on our way to a 1K, folks, to 1,000K. So, guys, please do like, share, and subscribe. Cash is pleading with us. Newcastle, please buy Jackson. Isak might be asking for the same thing, to be honest, at this stage. Who thinks that Isak? I think Isak Jackson combo will be good. People talk about the image of Jackson, not the player. Yes. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. John K says Espanyol and Atletico Madrid are going to be very interesting games. Certainly find out if Isak's missing the game. He already is. He's not coming, John K. He's not going to be at the Sela Cup. For a rethink and the panic sets in. I don't think there'll be panic from our side. By the way, I'm going to be there on Friday for the Espanyol game. So, folks, if anybody's there on Friday and you see me, please do say hi. I would absolutely love to meet folks in person. Please do say hi. So I'll be in Newcastle on, Friday's today. Speaking like it's tomorrow. Friday's today. I'll be in Newcastle today, folks, for the game as well. So do say hi. Who have the Monday at Sporting? Yeah. I think Crystal Palace was supposed to get him as well, to be honest. He's still a bit raw, though. Charles a little bit ahead of him. So I think that's why we're going for him. Hey, Queen of Hearts says, please focus. Sophie B just said, hit the likes. Yes, folks, please do keep hitting the likes. How many likes do we have so far? Do let me know. BT says there is. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes and we'll conclude the show as well. But again, engagement's fantastic. BT says there is too much expectation for players in the Big Six. All we say as a club is give 100% and you will be loved like Bruno. Absolutely. Choppy says this late in the transfer window, I don't care who comes in. Nah, I care. I know what you mean. I get the sentiment. It's like it's too much, like how it's been, but I care. Even people make bad decisions when they're desperate, and we need to continue to maintain cool and be smart. Shane says City and possibly Liverpool don't tell the world who they're going to sign, but airing out dirty laundry and transfers really affect everything. Keep it harsh. Yes, I think if that was done with Isak, He could well have already been a Liverpool player. We probably would have had Ekatike, and the world would just kept on moving. But no, we went down this route. So I agree with you, Shane. Sophie B says, how many players in Newcastle get in before the window closes? So we've already got two in Ramsey and in Elanga. I'm not gonna count I forgot the gentleman's name, the young Korean player I really like him. I'm going to count first team players. So we need we need a centre back, a midfielder, and either one or two forwards. So between centre back, midfielder, and one or two, so between 3 or 4 players. I think we can get 4 players in. I do think we can get 4 players in. I'm asking for a lot, but I think we can do it. The big guy, Samu from Porto, yeah, he's been talked about a lot. I don't know too much about him, but if his name continues to pop up, I'll do a scouting report on him and see where we'll go from here. But his name does. I think Antonio Mango, did a really good scouting report on him as well. So I might refer to that. Sarah Robson says Jackson is in a very young team with very little senior players. Yes, very, very good point. That is very, very true. Like our squad, our team is very, very good for developing talent. Imagine him in a dressing room with the likes of Byrne. Oh, goodness. J7. He's going to have to apologize to Sven Botman for that elbow as well. And Bruno G. He'll mature quickly. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. Yes. That's what I'm quite confident. Maybe, I'm not going to be overconfident, but I'm always confident about players who have flaws or players of the ilk of Jackson who have really good raw talents that people can see, but have some really big significant flaws that people can see, coming into our team and improving just because of our team, our management, everything else does that. Drunk Vigo says, so I agree with you, Sir Robson. Drunk Vigo says, someone said in the comment section that Newcastle couldn't even get a Jehovah. Okay, that's a new one there. Appreciate you, Vigo, for that. We have to be pessimistic to be optimistic. I hear what you're saying. Vigo said, I thought it was pretty funny. as long as you, that's it. Well done, Sophie. Yes, Sue Song. I'm gonna have to remember that. At least you did that. I appreciate you, Sophie, for that. All right, a couple more minutes on the comments and we'll conclude the show. Shane says, I thought it was only drunk on here. I'm drunk on here. Okay. Toon Down Under did a nice show on it. I'll have a look on it. Okay, so we've got to the end of the chat. Folks, you have been absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how many likes I've got, but I'm sure we've broken 50 because I know that you guys are absolutely phenomenal at that. We've also got to 900 subs whilst live on the show. You are absolutely amazing for that. And look, thank you so much. On the show, we discussed, obviously, we talked about the media. We talked about Fabrizio Romano, Melissa Reddy, some of the representatives from the media as well. And, them kind of really pushing for Isak to leave and trying to do this whole reverse, from my point of view, reverse psychology of from Fabrizio saying, if Newcastle want to be seen as not as a club that doesn't want to sell players, they need to sell Isak. Kind of that reverse psychology stuff. Miss Reddy is saying, hey, they're a mess. If you want to be a good club, if you want people to respect you, so kind of thing. And this is why he doesn't want to be here. His ambitions aren't aligned with the club. Very condescending email post. So the media, there is that kind of thing from the media in terms of pushing it on Newcastle. That's a big reason why I think Newcastle have to stand firm, not only in getting the 2 forwards that we need, quality forwards, by the way, but also get the price that we want, which is 150 million. We have to stand firm on that as well. So, and if that means Isak stays, then Isak stays. He is going to have to man up and continue to play for the club that has shown him the most love, the most respect that he's never seen in his life, in my opinion. So I hope to see that. And we also talked about, we reviewed the Sesko transfer. He's gone to Manchester United. Congratulations to them. I think he's a tier 1 prospect. And we've reviewed it. Obviously, Fabrizio is doing a cleanup operation, in my opinion, to say that he's only ever interested in one team. But if you look at Ben Jacobs' posts, if you look at Plattenberg's posts, he gave verbal agreements on his contract to both teams. A lot of media outlets in Germany, Bild, including Sky News Germany, have said he agreed with both teams as well. So he had a bit of divided loyalties. Why you think he did that, I think it is for different reasons. But it's the knock-on effect was that Leipzig had a lot of leverage when they're talking to Newcastle and Man United to say, hey, he's we know that he's given agreements to both you clubs. Now you've got to agree fees with us. So they got the best fee possible. Well, no, they didn't get the best fee possible. Well, we have to break down the whole Man United fee at some point as well. But they got a really good fee for him. And we talked about, obviously, Nicolas Jackson, Wissa, Liverpool interested in Wissa, Bayern Munich supposedly interested in Nicolas Jackson. Those rumors, apparently, from the chat, or people saying in the chat, have been shot down. We'll see. And eventually, we're talking about the potential kind of strikers we'd want in as well. Should Isak leave? I think possibly I'm leaning towards a Jorgen, Strand, Larssen, and a Jackson if Isak leaves. But we'll see. Hopefully Isak stays and we can have Isak and I think the best combination would be Isak and Jackson. If we're able to get that, that would be phenomenal. But maybe I'm asking for too much. We'll see. And Malik Thiaw and Sean Larssen being talked about. Larssen as number 1 forward target, and Thiaw obviously actually agreeing personal terms of us, and how Milan are praying they'll get a rival bidders for him by using the media for that too, which is part and parcel of being Newcastle at the moment. Also, you guys have been phenomenal. We've reached 56 likes. Again, we've had 74, 90 viewers. Again, smashing the likes to viewers ratio because of you guys. On Tuesday, I'm going to change the settings, like I was saying, for people to comment. You're going to have to sub. Please do sub. Please do like and subscribe because your comments, your chats are absolutely phenomenal. So please do sub to the channel. It will be absolutely marvelous to have you on. I've been looking for mods for the show. We've already had like 2-3 people. I think Queen of Heart. I think Sarah Robson. I want to say Sophie as well. Sophie, if I got that wrong, apologies. But I think you also put yourself forward. So I'm always going to be prioritizing folks that have been on the show for a while, just because they know the show, they know me a little bit more well enough in terms of just how I like the channel and stuff like that. So we'll go there again. Hang with me. You guys have shown me. Hang with me. I'm going to get things wrong. It's a bumpy road. Hang with me. My intention, my heart is to continue to keep the quality of the show for you folks. But you guys have been, as always, terrific. And if you're in Newcastle on Friday, do let me know. Make sure if you see me, do say hello. I'd love to catch up with you guys. And as always, folks, look after each other, take care of each other. And as always, folks, take care and God bless.